Executive on Senate, so he has to listen to people a lot. He has to listen to things that he doesn't agree with and things that he does, and he has to try to facilitate between the two. And he's always willing to listen to just things that are going on with people within Senate and people on SA. He's just willing to listen to anyone, which is a great skill I think that he has.
All right, thank you guys. Just to give you a little idea, we're going to ask some position-specific questions, first for the presidents and then for the vice presidents. To give you a little idea where they're coming from, the president's main role is working with administration, representing the student body to the administration, and as well as outside of Bethel, working with different student governments, working with different donors, and representing Bethel as a whole. Whereas the vice president works more with the internal structure of BSA, working with the different exec board. We have an 8-member exec board made up of student activities, intercultural programs, student ministries. And so they're just more internally focused, more looking at the organization as a whole. So this first question, we'll start back with Tyler. This is for presidents only. The question is, what strategies will you use to effectively connect with administration and represent the student body? So, go ahead, Tyler.
All right. Well, I think the foundation for being the president is just a deep understanding of the student body and their core issues and what really concerns them. Like Jared said, the representative for the student body to the administration. So I think that myself and especially with Amber, we have good understanding of the student body just from all the different and diverse experiences that we've been in, particularly our leadership ones, whether it's from Welcome Week or just playing broom ball, choir, and Res Council. So I think we've got a good understanding of the primary issues that Bethel students want to see addressed by the administration. So we've really learned a lot from all those different activities about Bethel. So I have some key strategies that I think I'd like to employ in terms of doing next year. I've learned a lot from watching Jared being associated with Jeremiah's administration. So I think one big thing that I'd like to do is just to continue to be involved, continue to be at the games, continue to be part of student activities, and just really get to see students from a diverse area so that we can adequately hold up or continue to see you guys get your voice heard at the administration. So just being present at events I think is a key thing. And then also just being open to suggestion from all students, having my office open, being able to talk to you guys about things that concern you within BSA that we could address, whether to the administration or just as a group as a whole.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I've thought about it. There's a lot of communication that goes on when you're president, and there's a lot of emails, a lot of emails. And anybody that's active in BSA knows that. And when you get into a position as president, you have to have more face-to-face contact, not only with students, but also with the administration. And you have to make yourself available as much as possible, that if you're needed at a time, you can meet with that person, or you can be there for that person, or for that meeting when it's necessary. So when it boils down to it, you just have to be accessible and available as much as possible, either for the administration or for the students. And that's really the basis of it.
Start off by apologizing to Ethan. Most of those emails are from me, unfortunately. I love CCing people, so I apologize. Over this last year, I've been involved in the executive team, and one of the big time commitments of that is having meetings with people that are higher up in administration. Jim Ferreira, I've had meetings with Joel Frederickson, Bruce Kunkel, Bob Schoenhart, Sodexo Bob, as we lovingly call him. Being on a first-name basis and really getting to know these people just allows me to accessibly talk to them, to talk to them about students' needs, to talk to them about wireless, which I'm very happy is going in this year. At least has been thus far. If you're in East or West, I'm sure you guys have experienced that. Heritage is soon to come, for sure. I really believe that not only does it take being involved with administration, but you have to be involved with the student body. And I think that that's sometimes where BSA has fallen off. I mean, I'm sure you guys have gone to sports games and you haven't seen people from BSA there necessarily. And something that I really want to do is really involve BSA in everything. I want to have the executive board, the team members involved in other clubs, involved in other organizations, just to really expand who we are, because we're not just an organization, we are the student body. This isn't about having a small set-aside student government. This is about having a student body that really is the voice of the body. So having connections with administration will help facilitate a smooth motion, but also just a passion to really connect and be involved with everyone here, I believe is what's necessary for this position.
Our next question then is for the vice presidents only, and we'll start with Matt and Sarah and then go down the line. The question is, what strategies will you use to make BSA more efficient internally? And then, good. And then what else will you do to make it more fiscally responsible?
Okay, well, one of the things that the BSA executives are working on establishing right now is to have someone, a director, actually in charge of the clubs and organizations. Because I don't know if you know right now a lot about the vice president position, but right now it has been really focused on just being in charge of the clubs and organizations, which really is a large task in itself. So by having a director established for this, the vice president would then be able to just work between that director and the other executives and just be able to facilitate what's going on. Another way that the vice president could possibly just help everything run more smoothly is, well, if you think about eliminating the chief of, is it the chief of staff right now? Operations staff. Yeah, the name has changed, but if you eliminate this position, then the vice president could also then just take care of those tasks, which mainly have to do with organization, which is one of my really strong suits. So those are both ways that we could improve this position.
As we've been talking about, I'm glad Sarah brings that up because it's really key that you guys, I don't know if you know this about like BSA, but there's been a lot of transitions going on with BSA lately, and a lot of people even in BSA don't understand like how this is working. Basically, we're trying to take the old problems of how BSA was inefficient, and we've rewritten the Constitution, and we've rewritten the roles of BSA to change them to make it more efficient. And the beauty about our team, about me and Ethan, is that we've been key and keenly involved and highly active in helping these changes come about. And so, like, these are new duties for the vice president. The vice president role has completely changed, and the best part about that and why we're so effective in dealing with that is because myself and then Ethan as well have been highly involved in changing what those duties are. So we have a very high knowledge of what the vice president is expected to do. So I think that's just essential in itself. But as far as what those things are, now the vice president's essential job is to communicate with the BSA executives to make sure they're being efficient. And my plan for this, to make sure that this happens even better, to continue how it's been going good, is to demand and have like face-to-face conversations with these executives. I want like weekly feedback from them and like weekly talking from me to them to make sure that they're all organized and to make sure we all know like what each other is doing so that we can coordinate effectively and just so that we can do it the best way possible. And that's really what this new vision for BSA is. And again, because we've been active in changing that, we know where that's supposed to end up and what this role is supposed to become. So I really want to bring that to life next year.
I think that one key for BSA to reach its highest level of efficiency is for each of the departments to really know what all the other branches and departments do. Because right now, a lot of different areas, like when you're involved in one area of BSA, you don't necessarily know what all the other parts do, or what their function is, what their purpose is. So I think it's really important that we communicate that to every branch so everybody knows what everyone else in BSA is doing, so they understand what everyone else's purpose is. And in that, after we reach that state of unity, I think that it's really important that we coordinate.